Yes, people, and welcome back to the Ram Stand. It's been a bit of a while. I wish I would have come in more happier circumstances, but what can you do? Liverpool, it is what it is. First of all, housekeeping as always. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment on your thoughts on the actual game and my analysis. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Try and get this out there to the most people. Get it out to your aunt, your uncle, your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother. You know the drill. I've been saying it for time. Just get it out there. Get it sharing to all the people that you know and try and grow this channel out on the road to 500 subscribers. But look, enough of the introduction. I think let's get straight into this, man. Liverpool drew 1-1 with Luton Town at Kenilworth Road. And I can honestly say it was the most embarrassing performance I have seen us play in a very, very long time. Probably in the last 6 or 7 months. Probably the last time I saw us that was embarrassing was Bournemouth away. Like nothing was good. Passing wasn't that great. Couldn't make a single good run of play. And look, goal from Tahith Chong. Obviously, annoying is the fact that he's a previously Manchester graduate that's come in and scored the goal. But I think in the 80th or 83rd minute, along those lines. But thankfully, and I have to give him so much prop for what he's been through. Luis Diaz getting the almighty and vital equalizer to maintain this sort of decent start that we've had, because let's be honest, on the time that I'm recording this, it is the 7th of November. I just watched Tottenham lose against Chelsea as I predicted, and we are 3 points behind City where it could have easily been 1 point. We could have been second today, and it hurts. It hurts. An opportunity missed, and an opportunity that I thought would happen, an opportunity that I thought we could capitalize on. But it's what we do. It's what we do, and it's something that we need to fix up on. I'll get straight into it. So we dominated the match. I think it's fair to say that we had the most of the ball. We had most chances, but we couldn't do anything about it. Story of Liverpool season when it comes up against newly promoted teams. We had a possession of around about 74%, which is understandable given that Luton Town don't like to really adventure forward as much as possible and try and hit us on the counter. And we had a total of 24 shots and 6 on target. And the fact that we scored 1 goal from it just shows that 1 in 24 is pathetic and is not good. And I will say this, I'm not going to go overboard. I've allowed this to simmer for a couple of days. I believe it's a one-off. I think what we've seen throughout the season, where our players have actually come in, done well, scored a decent amount of goals. Obviously, Salah being our top scorer, Nunes, we'll get onto Nunes later, has chipped in with a couple of good goals and assists. Gakpo and Jota as well. I don't think is a long-standing issue. I think it's just the fact that on the day, which is again incredibly frustrating given the quality of the opponent, we just weren't good enough. We weren't good enough in front of goal. And I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to him. I think the first point of view I need to talk about is Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez had 2 gilt-edged opportunities to score. He had the first one where he was played through brilliantly by Trent Alexander-Arnold, a nice little long through ball towards him, took it down pretty well, and proceeds to end up hitting the bar. Many people will say it's a difficult opportunity, but from what we've seen from him this season, he should have done better. He should have done better. I think he should have gotten on target at least. The fact that he didn't get on target, bro, you can't be missing chances like that. But we'll let it slide. Then the second miss, I've got to say, is something that is inexcusable. Completely inexcusable. And I've laughed, I've joked about Darwin Núñez missing in front of goal. Captain Chaos, he loves to do amazing things, then finish it off with something so stupid, or does stupid stuff and then does something incredible. I've joked and laughed about it, but I've also said he needs to cut that out. He needs to have this element of clinical edge, some finesse, some killer instinct and calmness. And then he proceeds to do stuff like this. The chance where Tsimikas crosses it in towards Salah, or I think it might have been Trent, either one of those players, crosses it in. Salah miscues his header, and we'll get on to Mo Salah later. And then Darwin from 2 yards out with an open net ends up smacking it into the roof of the stadium. Not even the roof of the net, which should be the right way of saying it, the roof of the net. Nope, the roof of the stadium. That's how bad that shot was. And that's what cost us. I am happy, and I'm sane enough to say that miss cost us dearly. We would have been 1-0 up, and I think we would have gone on to get a second goal and probably win this game. I'm probably second at this moment in time, 1 point behind Manchester City. And these are the type of games where you have to ask yourself about Darwin Núñez. It's great to be getting all this GA, but when it comes to games where you need to put a ball in the back of the net because your team needs a goal and everyone else is not stepping up, this is where you have to be like, yeah, I'm the guy. And missing from 2 yards out, not even hitting the target. Well, he's not even hitting. If he hits the target, he gets into the back of the net. But the fact that he missed from 2 yards out with an open net, I'm sorry. I've backed you this entire season. I've backed the comeback that you've had. But you deserve a lot of criticism for that. That was an inexcusable miss. You can't be missing from 2 yards out and be happy with it. And the one thing I'll say about the fan base, which I believe will provide as much support as possible, is the fact that I feel as though they started to baby him a little bit. Oh, it's Darwin Núñez, Captain Chaos, all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit patronizing, in my opinion. It's a little bit patronizing. And the fact that you know that he's done something completely reckless and idiotic, in my opinion, and then you proceed to chant his name and do all this. I get you're encouraging him, but come on, you've got to be a little bit more critical about him. He's 24 years old. He's 24, turning 25, and this is a time where he needs to find himself as a striker and needs to prove himself that he is going to be that striker for Liverpool in the up and coming years. And right now, even though he's shown moments where he can be that kind of guy, these moments are why a lot of people have reservations about him, or even reservations about him being a Liverpool player, let alone being the top guy for Liverpool. So there's that on Darwin Núñez. I want your thoughts and opinions about Darwin. Does he deserve this much criticism, which I believe he does? Does he get a lot of hate and people believe that they try to mollycoddle and baby him a little bit? But I want your thoughts and opinions. Next player I need to talk about, Mohamed Salah. If you talk about credit in the bank for certain Liverpool players, he has got to be one up there, top by a mile. Maybe the closest, probably say a mile. The closest will probably be Alisson Becker. Him and Salah have the most credit in the bank out of any Liverpool player. But today was one of the most embarrassing and disappointing performances I've seen from Mo Salah in a very, very long time. Nothing worked. Passes weren't working. Positioning wasn't working. Dribbling weren't working. Shooting weren't working. Nothing was working with this guy. That missed header encapsulated that entire game for Liverpool and his game. That game, the fact that he knows what he's doing. He knows he wants to get the ball, head the ball towards the goal, and he proceeds to miss the entire target completely and miss the ball completely. Says a lot about what happened during that game and his performance. And people need to highlight this. They really do. And some people have. Some people being like, he should have. Some people have been talking about Núñez a lot and putting more blame on Núñez and Salah. But for me, no one gets to hide. Certain players deserve to be corned. And he was one of them, in my opinion. And that's something we would like to talk about, him being world-class. And he is 100% a world-class footballer. But these performances are inexcusable. These performances cost us, and it cost us today. Now, I want to get over with the bad stuff first before I talk about some good stuff. And then we'll get on to some other pressing matters about Liverpool. McAllister. Alexis McAllister playing in DM, I have a lot of sympathy for. I have a lot of sympathy for Alexis McAllister and where he's playing. He's playing as a DM. He's not a DM. It's an unconventional position for him. He's not really too familiar. He has played as in a double pivot, but never played as a lone six. I sympathize with him, but I cannot accept what he does on the pitch. I cannot accept the fact that he can't make a tackle. I can't accept the fact that whenever he tries to find a ball, he gives it straight to the Luton players. Whenever he tries to switch it, he can't switch it. Whenever he tries to play a simple ball, he tries to do the opposite, does the hard balls, trying to play those cutting balls in our own box, in our own area, let alone in our own box. You know, those stuff you can't be doing. And even when he has time and space to pick out a person and pick out the right ball to him, he can't even do that. And there's a point where you've got to realize that saying he's out of position can't be an excuse anymore. And you've got to look at himself as a player and why he's not playing the way we expect him to play. Why is he not playing as the kind of guy that we bought him for? Why is he not playing to the way Klopp thinks he can play? And we'll get to Klopp as well. Why is Klopp persisting and continuing playing him at the sixth position when we know he's not a six? We know he's not flourishing. We know at times he can be a hindrance. And there's a player on our team that is a recognized number six and doesn't get a single opportunity. And this was probably the best opportunity for him to come in against Luton. Come on. Like, everyone can agree. And there's no disrespect to Luton. They are going to be one of the main candidates for them to drop down to the Championship. And to say that Endo's not good enough to play for Liverpool against Luton, come on, man. Come on. That's disrespectful. And that's someone that Jurgen Klopp had vouched for and wanted to bring in part as a part of the team. And he's allowing McAllister, an unrecognized six, to come in and play there instead of a recognized six in Endo. Makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. And Jurgen Klopp deserves to get a lot of heat for what he's doing right now. Now, on to the good stuff. I want to talk about the good stuff because there was some. Even in this dismal game, there were some bright moments. I want to start off with Luis Diaz. Had no right to come onto this game and play this game in the first place. I don't know how he has the mental fortitude to come on and do what he did. It's superhuman, in my opinion. What he's going through behind the scenes and the stress that he's going through to come on and do what he did is superhuman, in my opinion. Superhuman. Superhuman, man. Like, we knows that Liverpool are fighting to stay, to get a point, let alone a win, get a point. And he comes on and tries to make the difference and tries to do stuff that certain other players in the starting 11 couldn't do. And he comes on and gets a goal. Some people say it was written. I think it's written. I had a feeling if anyone was to score for Liverpool, it would be him. And big him up, man. Big him up. The mental fortitude that he has is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Secondly, I want to talk about is Ryan Gravenberch. And it's interesting why I want to talk about him, because I think compared to everyone else in this starting 11 that was put up, barring probably Joe Gomez as a left back, he is the only player that isn't guaranteed a spot. And it's damning the fact that he was probably, barring obviously Alisson and Van Dijk, he was the only player that came in and put in a shift and put in a performance being worthy of a Liverpool player. And that just screams of what this game was all about. Complacency and a lack of willingness and lack of care to actually respect the opponent and take them seriously and get the win. Szoboszlai, poor. Trent, poor. Konate, mediocre. Salah, poor. Nunez, poor. Jota, missing. It's completely embarrassing. I probably named more embarrassing performances than I have good. And that was the story of Liverpool today. And that was the story. And Gravenberch, fair play to him. As soon as he came into this Liverpool team and started playing for Liverpool from his transfer from Bayern. He's looked energized. He looks dangerous. He looks enthusiastic is probably the big one. And he looks like he wants to drive. He wants to take this team forward, both metaphorically in terms of the overall picture, but also on the pitch as well. And he wants the ball. He wants to make a difference. And we saw it. A couple of opportunities that he made for Diogo, one being Diogo Jota, who should have arguably done better with his opportunity. That is something that we did not have in abundance overall as a Liverpool team on Sunday. We didn't have that drive. We didn't have that care. We didn't have that willingness to break down Luton the way a top team should. And it's disrespectful, man. It's completely disrespectful, not only to Luton, but also to the fans, and most importantly. These are the type of fans that have said that Liverpool is a team that is going to challenge for the league this season. This is a team that will, some people even gone further to say that they've won the league, which I personally don't believe. But also, the majority of fans have believed that they will be there at the end. I want to say at the very end, but they will be there. They'll be there or thereabouts. And that performance has really put a dampener in them feelings, because there's already a lot of people that are saying that, I can't believe I put so much faith in this Liverpool team. We're not ready yet. We need this X and X and X. We need X, Y, and Z. We need this, this, and that. And understandable that they have these feelings. Not many teams of a stature of Liverpool or the quality of Liverpool or the top six should be drawing to Luton, a newly promoted team. Hasn't played in the Premier League for how many, like 25 years or 20 years? It shouldn't happen. But it has. And that is something that Liverpool's going to have to deal with for the rest of the season. And that is something that could cost us in the end. It could be 1 point. It could be 7. It could be 4. But also, from history, we've seen our team lose the league by 1 point and draw or drop points against teams that we shouldn't be dropping points against. And that's something that we need to fix up as a team. But I want to get on to the McAllister conundrum. I want to call it the McAllister conundrum. McAllister has not been good for us. And do you know what was also damning about that? The Andre performance that he gave out on Saturday on the Copa Libertadores showed us what we wanted. And you could see what Andre produced and what Alexis McAllister produced is night and day. You could easily see why Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp wanted and is still very interested in Andre. And that's the kind of player they want to play as a 6. Aggressiveness, speed, mobility, passing accuracy, press resistance, intelligence, all in abundance. I'm not saying that McAllister don't have that, but the mobility and aggression that he possesses compared to McAllister's night and day. And that is what a 6 needs. Because he has the intelligence. McAllister has the intelligence. He can intercept. He knows when to tackle. But he doesn't have the aggression. He doesn't have the mindset. And he doesn't have the willingness of a 6, of a proper 6, like a Fabinho used to do, to win the ball. Andre has that, in my opinion. From what I've seen of Andre, and the Copa Libertadores was more or less tying the bow to the present. It was, for me, why I think Liverpool should go out and sign him as our 6. I feel as though him coming in will help boost title chances going forward. Wouldn't make it so that I think we'll pip Man City, but I think we'll make a good challenge of it. It'll put us in the right direction and where we need to be. And that's something that Liverpool need to sort out in January. A 6 is needed. A 6 is needed no matter what. We said this in the summer. He wanted Lavia and Caicedo. That didn't work out. What happens? We end up getting Endo. And we get Gravenberch, who's not a 6, he's an 8. And we start playing Mac as a 6. We need a 6 desperately. And I mean desperately. We can hold out until December or January. We can hold out. We're going to have to hold out as much as possible. But it will be a big problem if we don't get a 6 in January. A massive problem. And also, I want to say as well, I think in light of what happened in Tottenham and Chelsea, the fact that Van der Ven's got injured, my main concern is, what if Van Dijk gets injured? What if Matip get injured? Because it can happen. I'm more worried about Van Dijk because Matip is injury prone, Gomez is injury prone, Konate is injury prone. Who do we have to rely on? Who can we play at centre back? I'm a huge fan of Jarrell Konsa. I think he's been amazing since when he's come in and played whenever he needed to be. But he's not ready. He's not ready at all. I don't want to put that much pressure on him. And seeing that we are looking light in, I was about to say shy, but we're not shy, but we're looking light in the defensive positions. Robertson's already got a dislocated shoulder, and Tsimikas is just not doing it for us. I fear the worst if someone like a Van Dijk or a Matip or a Konate gets injured, and who has to come in. And that's something that we need to realize ourselves. We can hope that someone like Curtis Jones comes in and fills out the positions and makes us better. We can hope that Robertson comes back quicker than usual. We can hope that all the situation with Luis Diaz be resolved and he's back playing for Liverpool again. But it looks like a big worry in my opinion. It looks a bit worried. It looks a big worry for me. An injury could hamper us a lot. And that is why we need to do business in the January transfer window. We need to sign a 6 and we need to sign a centre back. We're not saying it just because we're being greedy or we're being over the top or negative. We're saying this because we believe if we sign those players, we can win the league title. We can win the league. We can challenge on all fronts. We can win the league alongside a Europa League or a League Cup or an FA Cup. And that should be the expectation for Liverpool now. We've got to win trophies. You know, the one thing that the previous Liverpool team didn't have was the abundance of trophies. Winning everything, winning the whole lot is great. But we need to build on that. And for Klopp to have an incredible legacy that he's always had, the one thing that is stopping him is the abundance of trophies. He's got one of everything. But your Wenger's has got 3 Premier League titles. Mourinho's got 3. Pep has got 5. You know, Klopp has only got 1. And if he wants to be in them conversations, he's got to add to that trophy cabinet. And this is where he needs to be demanding of the board, of the owners, that he needs players to come in and do the job. But look, I'll leave it there, people. I appreciate you taking the time out to listen to what I've got to say. I want to hear your thoughts on the Luton game. Put it in the comments below, saying whether I'm right, whether you think Gravenberch is the only player that's actually putting in the performances, whether you think we should drop McAllister and bring on Endo, whether we should actually look for a DM and a January in the January transfer window and also a centre back at the same time, whether maybe an injury away from being in a proper problem. But people, I'll leave it there. I appreciate your time listening to this short little Premier League review. I will catch you guys in probably the last minute review of Toulouse versus Liverpool on Thursday. And yeah, people, I'll leave it there. I appreciate the time taken out, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace.